The world we live in is toxic. Toxins are created from both within ourselves and outside of ourselves in the environment. The big question, of course, is what can we do to get out of a toxic environment? And the answer is actually surprisingly simple. The answer is to reduce acidity, because basically toxicity is acid buildup inside the body and in the environment. And when I talk about the environment, I am talking about your home as well, of course, as the nature, as we step outside into nature, due to the massive buildup of electronic equipment of any kind in the environment. We cannot escape toxicity in our everyday today lives. Nowadays, it may surprise you, there are very, very few areas in the world which are free from toxins. In fact, in Manchester, the trees are dying now from acidity buildup, which is quite shocking. You can see it even in Russia, where they have done a lot of tests, testing for the Schumann wave resonance, the 7.83 hertz frequency, and its harmonics. And it has been discovered that there are very, very few areas where the Earth resonates at its harmonious Schumann wave frequency. So the question is, what can we do? The answer is this little dome. This doesn't come with it, I just put it on there because for illustration purposes here for the video, it looks better and you can see the beautiful glow of this harmonizing dome, and also it highlights the golden light quality of the dome. We'll talk about the importance of the color of it in a moment, but first of all I just want to show you this, what it looks like. It is a harmonizer which has got amazing abilities. To the best of my knowledge, it is unique in the number of and variety of different frequencies it harmonizes. It goes way beyond the ability to just harmonize the toxic energy coming from electronic equipment. There are many products out there you can buy who do this. There are also many products out there you can buy who claim to raise your inner well-being with geometric shapes. I have tested them, some of them very expensive. They work up to a degree, and then they are all of them. And I have tested probably about 30 or so over time, and they are all lacking in some area. When I got this tool together with a plugin, and if you go to the product page on my website, Mental Strategies for Traders, you can see exactly what I mean. I'm not going to show you the plugin, which is just a plug that plugs into the socket, because I'm using one here for the UK. We have adapters for Europe and for America. So obviously, the look varies slightly. They are just a little thing. You can see it on my website. Together, the effect is absolutely mind-blowing. I live in a house which is energetically very, very challenged. It is challenged by mold. Mold, by the way, is a big problem, not only in old houses, but also in modern houses, due to the ducting for air conditioning, ducting for elevators and the like. They all create energy blockages and mold, which then creeps through the walls into the building, even if you can't see it. It's highly toxic, because mold, of course, like all toxins, creates acidity, which ultimately breaks down the body and leads to every single form of disease known on the planet. The level of toxicity and acidity dictates how it is expressed in your body and in your mind. In other words, in a nutshell, you have to find a way to get rid of the acidity, and in turn you will heal the toxicity inside of you and around you. The impact I found from these harmonizing domes, which I have called also the koala energy, and I'll explain in a moment why, um, is amazing. You will notice not only that you feel better, but within a day or so, you will notice that your thinking changes. It is becoming so much easier to think naturally positive thoughts. The mind, particularly the mind that is stressed, and let's face it, who isn't impacted by what is going on in the world around us today? We all are, and it is very, very easy, and I would almost say natural, to think negative thoughts and fall into hopelessness and despair when you look outside, and which I do not recommend. By looking outside, I mean watching television. I strongly recommend against this. But okay, back to the effect of these harmonizing tools. So they have a direct impact on the brain, and you will notice how you feel lighter and easier inside. You will also notice that your environment changes. As I said, I live in an old house, and we have got a lot of damp problems. We have got a very damp cellar, which floods regularly. So we have a pump, and even sometimes with the pump, when it rains heavily, the water table in the cellar rises, and of course it impacts on the house. In the kitchen, we have old tiles, which we chose to leave, even though they have a regular buildup of mold. So I cleaned the kitchen tiles just before the arrival of the dome, and I have to say I'm using it together with the plug-in. There has been no mold build-up since the two have been together, and I've had these tools now for approximately 2 months. Nothing I have tried before has had that effect, and that in itself is testimony to the immense benefits and impact of this simple technology. Well, I say technology. It doesn't use any electricity. The plug-in purely grounds the energy and intensifies what the dome does by itself. That's the best and most simple way of explaining it. Actually, if you go to my website, there is a table on there where I have detailed the energies, the energy frequencies, which are, the harmonious frequencies which are giving out by the dome and the plug-in. And they, well, actually, they have been tested with a lecture antenna, which of course is just for the plug-in, because the dome, which just uses universal energies, cannot be tested with a thing like a lecture antenna. Anyway, you can read about this on my website. I don't want to bore you with too many figures and technology here, but rather I want to describe to you exactly the impact it has. So as I've said, kitchen, no mold. So that's a very physical thing. I can see this. I was absolutely blown away when I lifted the rug to look underneath, where there is normally a very fine layer of mold, nothing. So I know this works. In terms of harmonizing geopathic stress energy, you all know geopathic stress energy arises from underground water, toxic energy buildup in underground water, and toxic energy buildup in ley lines. These days, a big big problem due to technology and electronic buildup of toxins. I have to be careful of using a certain word. You know what that is, because I treasure my YouTube channel, which I have had for many years, because this video is also on YouTube and on Facebook. Just got to be a little bit careful here. So just saying. So bear with me as I am carefully choosing how I express myself. So anyway, it neutralizes this. The circumference of the harmonizing energy is very wide. It is 40 cubic meters. And this goes just for the dome alone. So the dome, apart from obviously creating a harmonizing field in your house, can also be used for travel. So, and it is a beautiful thing to give to school children to take to school with them. Just one dome will do many classrooms and several layers, because as I said, it's 40 cubic meters, so that is quite a few floors. It goes up and down, because the toxic energy from devices does not only go up, it also penetrates into the earth, typically 1.5 meters into the earth. And that means, actually, because the earth, the ground is very dense, it becomes more difficult to get rid of. So you can use the dome just in your home, and as I said, for travel. If you choose to use one for travel, I recommend two, because you want to allow the field to build around you. In that way, it becomes most effective and most powerful, rather than moving a dome, taking it from one place to another all the time. That is not such a good idea. So, and then thirdly, there is another tool that comes with it, and that is this little wristband here. And that is to be worn when you're sitting at your computer. If you are like me, very sensitive to energy, you will notice that after having sat in front of the computer for 2 or 3 hours, a degree of fatigue sets in and it becomes more difficult to focus. I have tried countless tools to help myself. I have got grounding mats that I find awkward to use, and they help a bit. Granted, they help a bit. So since I've had this tool and the Harmonizer Dome and the plugin, the difference has been absolutely amazing. I have virtually no computer fatigue anymore, and I have to spend hours in front of the computer. It is just amazing what difference it has made. And I can assure you, all the other tools I have had, some were still in place as I was introducing these new tools. They have overridden all of them. I have taken the other ones out now because I don't need them anymore. So the uniqueness of this tool is that it not only just deals with harmonizing energy from electronic equipment, and all electronic equipment is included here, but it also deals with an issue which is very evident and growing at the moment as the world is going through this major transition, and that is the energy of exoplasma, and well, really of shall we say, entity activity. More and more people are reporting seeing entities in their homes. And by the way, this is not only limited to old homes. Entity activity is basically, it is the result of cell memory, and of course cell memory is not only in buildings, it's also in the ground. So and it can be very disturbing, and of course entities attach to people through holes in the auric field. And that often happens at night when the body is most susceptible to taking these things on, because when you are lying still, energy doesn't move that much. If you are sleeping on a geopathic stress line, you will take on even more readily the toxins from the geopathic stress line, and that creates more openings in your auric field through which entity activity can get in directly into your body and into your mind and start controlling you. This is a very, very real thing. It's a very, very dangerous thing, um, that has happened for a long, long time and must be taken very, very seriously. These tools will harmonize entity activity. I think it is today as important, maybe even more important than anything else we can do to help ourselves, to make the transition from the third dimension we are finding ourselves into fifth dimensional beings. These tools will help you with the transition process because they will help you to think more loving thoughts and literally feel better about yourself and thus control your environment better, because they harmonize so many different energies. So far we mentioned geopathic stress, we mentioned mold, and of course we mentioned the toxic energy from electromagnetic fields, which is all encompassing, and therefore the most important one, of course, at the moment for the earth, let alone just for ourselves, but for the earth, because we also have to bear in mind everybody is different. Not everybody reacts in the same way to energy. Um, but one thing I can say is, when all these energies are harmonized, and there is a list, again, I refer you to the product page on my website, the link is below in the in the written section of this video. You will see that there are so many different areas. And again, let me say this once more. Really, ultimately, the issue is acidity, and it comes, in many different shapes and forms, but acidity is at the core of the problem. Whether we talk about geoengineering, whether we talk about the problem with acid rain, it all comes down that the acidity is destroying our natural harmonious living environment and the harmony of our brains, and creating acid thoughts, destroying the negative ions in the air. Negative ions are a life force energy. So as we create a more alkaline environment in our environment, inside and out, our minds go back into harmony. This is basically what happens. And this is why I liken these tools to the easiest personal development tool you can find, because it'll help you to become more positive. It'll help you with getting into a more harmonious, meditative, loving, and peaceful state. The tools create a cathedral-like energy, and the cathedral-like energies is an energy which is similar to a portal energy, where the love energy can come into your field. So that's a very, very beautiful thing. When you are in the love energy, everything harmonizes. When you yourself carry the love energy, anything in your direct field, in your body, begins to harmonize. Your body goes into homeostasis, and the environment and everything in it goes into homeostasis. That means your life will start flowing easier as you adopt gradually over time, and of course this takes time, you become more regenerative, harmonizing love energy yourself, and you become a pillar, a carrier for this energy, thus contributing to harmonizing the energy in our world, which desperately, desperately needs to carry more love and more compassion and more peace, because these are the attributes that ultimately will transform our world and will transform us on our journey into the fifth dimension, where duality and blame and anger and war and fear and frustration are ceasing to exist and give way to the energy of harmony, of oneness, of caring for each other, of working together with each other. And yes, these things, they will help us to bring in the new quantum financial system with more effortless ease and peace and love. Okay, I think I have given you a fairly good overview of what this wonderful tool does. Um, Again, please look up the products and the information, much more details on the technical side of things, so to speak, on my website, Mental Strategies for Traders, and the link is below. And as always, um, please like this video and share it. Thank you.